So for this video, I actually wanted to update a video that I did like 5 years ago. It was a bunch of tips that I had for new parents that still wanted to get in some kind of good quality gaming time. I decided as a way to kind of get back to my roots, so to speak, that I would go ahead and update that video for 2024. Between now and then, yeah, a lot has happened in the way that gaming has changed and has also kind of changed the way that I view parenting and gaming. Right off the bat, you're not going to be getting 12-hour gaming sessions. Personally, now that I'm in my 30s, I can't do that anymore. But yeah, I just wanted to show up and say thank you to you guys for all the support that I've been getting lately. I am very close. I might even be potentially at 1,000 subs by the time that this video goes up. And if that's the case, thank you so much. It is quite literally a dream come true. And if you are watching this and you're not yet subscribed, then, hit the button and you can be a part of this hype train, I guess. Also, a little bit of foundational information for this video before we get into it. First off, this video is coming from the perspective of a dude with 4 kids that lives just outside of Seattle. So the things that I can do and take my kids to do and all that might be vastly different from what you might be able to. So if you have tips that are more specific to like suburban and rural areas, leave those in the comments below because that's something that I don't have experience from, but I can learn from you guys. And also, if you take anything out of this video and if you click off after what I have to say next, that's completely fine. The most important thing in all of this is communicating with your partner, communicating with your husband, your wife, whomever. Just talk to them. It makes so much of your life easier if you just talk to them. All right. I also wanted to say really, really quick, I am listening to your guys' feedback. I am trying everything I can to have more clean, crisp audio. And honestly, if there's any videos or YouTubers or anything like that that gave you guys really good information on good audio mixing, please let me know. Send me a DM, put it in the comments, whatever. For this video, I tried to do something different, so hopefully it sounds better. If it doesn't, I'm sorry. Just let me know in the comments. Thank you so much. Number one is a tried and true classic, and that is just scheduled gaming time. Allocating a specific hour or two for gaming is probably one of the most tried and true ways to kind of guarantee that you get your hobby time in. Now, if you are a parent that has a newborn or a very, very young child not yet in school, you can probably have this time coincide with a scheduled nap because of the fact that you are wanting to have that type of repetition in those early stages. So if you are taking them down for a nap, or maybe they wake up in the middle of the night for newborns, 2 or 3 a.m., guess what? You got your little gaming buddy with you, and you can use them to provide emotional support, or maybe somebody that you can talk strategy with. They're your kids. I don't know what you talk to them about. Number two is also a tried and true classic from the previous video, and that is indie games. This is your chance to explore indie games because, I mean, let's be honest, is triple or quadruple A gaming really worth it these days? In this economy? No, of course not. So why don't you go ahead and take the money that you would spend on one game and buy yourself like 2, 3, maybe even like 4 indie games, all of which are games that could be just as long, if not longer, than that quadruple A game that you were going to play, and you only have to buy it once. I mean, like, do I really need to go in further? And you're supporting small developers and not a bunch of just capitalist pigs who just want to extract every nickel and dime out of you? Yeah. I don't think I really need to explain much more. Not only are these games more often than not shorter, easier to complete, you can play them multiple times, and you're supporting a small business. So I wrote and recorded this spot before all of this stuff with like Microsoft and all of just all the terrible stuff that's been going on the past couple of weeks. Um, Full transparency, I actually used to work in the gaming industry, and I actually started putting a lot more effort into this channel around the time that I got laid off, which was last year. I'm really thinking about doing it as its own separate video in regards to just kind of giving a little bit of context of my experience in the industry, my experience in tech. I've been doing both in the marketing side for about 10 years now. And yeah, I'm just very, very, very upset with the state of the industry. I'm really bummed out. But at the same time, it's almost just like out of spite. I want to still make this type of content. I actually want to start learning how to make my own games now and, share them with other people just because I'm so pissed at the industry in its current state. And tip number three is probably the one that is technically from the last video, but has like the most updates to it, and that's portable gaming. At the time when I made my first video, the Nintendo Switch was an absolute game changer for me and was the least expensive option to get an entire household all into gaming together. Now, in the year of our Emperor 2024, we are lucky enough to have things like Game Pass, Steam Deck, and those weird streaming controller things that the PS5 has. And this is also your daily reminder to those who do PR for Steam and PlayStation. Send me a Steam Deck and a PlayStation so that way I can talk about them and how they have made my life better. Okay, bye. And also, I know it's a bit controversial because I'm annoyed by most of them as well, but this is also where I would say that things like mobile gaming would also be a really viable option. I mean, for instance, right now I am playing Stardew Valley on my tablet because that's just the platform I want to play it on, and I am unashamedly a big player of games like Honkai Star Rail, and obviously you have things like Minecraft on mobile, and you have like Final Fantasy ports on mobile. What I'm basically saying is that paid mobile games are a completely viable option as a way to essentially get more gaming time in, or as a way to make sure that you still have the ability to do something that is a perfect facsimile to traditional console gaming or PC gaming. Next up, we have tip number 4, and that is use gaming as a vehicle to teach your kids different life lessons, especially when it comes to more mature themed games. I firmly believe that there are many games rated mature that would be completely acceptable for a young to older child to play before they turn 17. That is why I have my other side series, M-rated games I'd let my kids play. Games like Halo, Helldivers, and even Yakuza, yes, they are rated mature, and yes, there is reasonable reasons for it to be that way, but at the same time, I think there is a certain level of disconnect. If a younger child did play it, they could actually, maybe pick up a couple things here and there about life and the greater world as a whole. But then again, that's just me as a parent. I actually care about this type of stuff, so maybe I'm the weird one. Also, for the record, I am not the weird one. There's a bunch of terrible parents out there, so me wanting to be a better one than those terrible parents makes me better than those parents, okay? And here's kind of like my bonus tip for this video before we get to number 5, which is really number 1 in terms of importance. But anyways, bonus tip, maybe consider tabletop gaming. Getting my family interested in tabletop RPGs have probably been way more impactful in regards to family gaming nights than any other singular video game ever did. This is why I'm also a huge advocate for role-playing games, which have been far more impactful in engaging my entire family and giving all my kids of various ages and abilities a chance to be a hero. And role-playing games as themselves are just like the perfect avenue to a series of lifelong hobbies. We have game design, we have world building, we have things like painting miniatures, we have things like printing miniatures, we have things like 3D printing, terrain design, terrain building, the ability to do quick math, the ability to improvise, the ability to actually have an active imagination, maybe active listening as well, and interacting with strangers in regards to just not being a terrible person in order to get what you want. I will say, and this will be its own video later, that RPGs are probably the one true genre because of the fact that it is such a gateway to every other hobby that there is. And now for the final tip of the video. So first off, thank you for making it this far. If you have, I hope that you've enjoyed everything I'm talking about so far. I'm not going to edge you anymore. The final tip is just overall getting your family involved. It sounds stupid, it sounds obvious, but yeah, share your passion for gaming with your family. Try to find games that cater to everyone in your family's interest and make it a family activity. The most common mistake that I see parents make is that they hoard their hobby all to themselves, but they still somehow expect their kids to share the passion and excitement that they do for gaming. It always ends up causing the opposite. So that's why I'm saying, yeah, it's completely fine and it's completely understandable to have like your personal gaming time, but at the same time, your young kids are going to associate that personal gaming time with not bothering their parent or something along those lines. It's going to develop a negative connotation and it's going to make them more hesitant to try gaming. And before you say not my kid, that type of attitude is just proving my point. And then once again, to backtrack to the bonus tip, this is also why I am such a big advocate for role-playing games, because it allows everyone to basically, to a certain degree, play their own way but still be working towards a cooperative goal. Also, role-playing games are a lot cheaper until you start getting into the miniatures and stuff like that. I'm never going to say Warhammer is cheaper than video games, but if we want to start including microtransactions, I mean, Warhammer might be cheaper than some video games. All right, if you are watching this right now, that means you made it to the end of the video or you skipped to the end of the video for some odd reason. But either way, hi, thank you for making it this far. Yeah, this was something that I was working on before the Kendrick video. Honestly, I was kind of afraid to make this video to follow up the Kendrick one just because of the fact that it's just such a hard pivot. But you know what? It's my channel. Here we are. This is the stuff I want to share. So let me know what you think. Let me know your thoughts. Even if you don't have kids and you still watch this, let me know what you think, because I think some of these tips can also apply to just adulthood as well, especially when you start entering in adulthood and you have to start figuring out how to actually make your own work-life balance. That's it. Thank you again for your time. Like, share, subscribe. I'm probably gonna, not to be presumptuous, but I mean, I'm probably gonna hit 1,000 subs soon, so thank you in advance for that. I'm not gonna do some weird 1,000 sub celebration video. We'll do those as I get to higher milestones. And yeah, my next video, I actually have my next 3 videos planned out, so stick around, like, subscribe, share, do all the things, and thank you again for your time. I really mean it. Thank you. Bye.